While Capitan Tiago was busy gambling, Doña Victorina decided to take a stroll through town to observe how the locals managed their homes and farms. She dressed extravagantly, adorned with ribbons and flowers on her silk gown, wanting to showcase her superiority to the local people. She linked her arm with her lame husband, Dr. de Espadanya, and strutted through the streets, drawing the attention and confusion of the townsfolk. Her cousin Linares stayed at home. "What awful shacks these people live in," Doña Victorina exclaimed with a grimace. "I can't believe they endure this. They must be so uncivilized. And look at how proud they are. They don't even take off their hats when they see us. Someone should teach them some manners, just like the priests and guards do." "But what if they hit me back?" Dr. de Espadanya asked nervously. "That's what you're supposed to do as a man," she snapped. "I'm lame," he reminded her gently. Her frustration grew as the dirt road made her gown filthy, and the women they passed failed to admire her outfit. A coachman, driving Sinang and her cousin in a fancy carriage, yelled for her to move, and her temper flared. "Did you see that rude coachman? I'll complain to his master about his lack of training." "Let's just go back home," Dr. de Espadanya suggested, sensing the approaching storm. As they walked, they ran into the alferez, an officer, which only worsened Doña Victorina's mood further. Not only did he not compliment her, but he also seemed to mock her attire. "You shouldn't be shaking hands with someone so lowly," she told her husband after the officer left. "He barely saluted you while you took off your hat." "He's the boss here," he replied, hoping to keep the peace. "But we're not just anyone. We're above them, aren't we?" she insisted. Seeing the civil guard's house as they passed, they caught a glimpse of Doña Consolacion, the officer's wife, who was lazily smoking a cigar. The two women stared at each other with disdain. Doña Consolacion quickly sized up Doña Victorina, then turned away and spat on the ground, aggravating Doña Victorina even more. Doña Victorina confronted Doña Consolacion, her anger boiling over. "Why are you staring at me? Are you jealous?" "Jealous of you?" Doña Consolacion replied, unimpressed. "Oh yes, I envy your frizzed hair." Dr. de Espadanya tried to intervene. Don't engage with her." "I'm going to teach this shameless woman a lesson," Doña Victorina retorted, shoving her husband aside. "Respect who you're dealing with," she declared to Doña Consolacion. "I'm not some provincial or a soldier's mistress. In Manila, officers wait for me at the door." "Oh, so high and mighty, Señora. You think you're better because you're not like me? But really, a lot of women meet with men for a little extra in life," Doña Consolacion shot back. This insult struck a nerve for Doña Victorina, who rolled up her sleeves in anger. "Come down here, you old hag. I'll smash that dirty mouth of yours." Doña Consolacion disappeared from the window and came rushing out, holding her husband's whip. Dr. de Espadanya tried to shield her, but things got heated until the alferez arrived. "Ladies, what's going on here?" shouted the alferez. "Train your wife better," yelled Doña Victorina. "If you're too broke to dress her properly, at least rob someone." "Here I am. Why don't you come down here and say that to me?" spat Doña Consolacion, escalating the argument. The shouting match commenced, with each señora throwing insults and grievances at each other, revealing deep-seated emotions and class frustrations. The crowd around watched, entertained, as insults flew back and forth. Just then, the curate arrived, trying to restore order. "What a disgrace! Enough!" Don Tiburcio, while trying to calm both ladies, found himself receiving angry remarks from Doña Victorina. As tensions fizzled, the groups began to break apart, but not before engaging in a final round of name-calling. Irritated, Doña Victorina declared to her husband, "We must go to Manila right away. You need to challenge that alferez." But dear, I'm lame," her husband pleaded. "What kind of coward are you? You have to stand up for us," she insisted, furiously snatching his false teeth and crushing them underfoot, leaving him in tears. They returned home, where Linares was talking to Maria Clara and her friends, unaware of the earlier conflict. Seeing his cousin's distressed expressions made him anxious. Maria Clara, taken aback by her doctor's appearance, questioned, "What happened?" "Linares, you must challenge the alferez now, or I'll expose you to everyone here," Doña Victorina urged angrily. But, Doña Victorina, Linares protested. Think about it. The alferez insults us and you stand by. You're less of a man if you can't defend our honor, she continued. I cannot believe this fight happened, gasped Sinang. Why didn't we see it? The alferez said something about your doctor, Victoria pointed out. In a swift and tense moment, Doña Victorina announced, We're heading to Manila. If he hasn't got the guts, he doesn't deserve to marry your daughter. Shocked, pale Maria Clara simply stared, unable to respond, while the others expressed their disbelief. Remember, Clara, never marry a man who won't defend you, Doña Victorina advised. With tears in her eyes, Maria Clara said weakly, Please help me to my room. With her friend's arms around her, they helped her walk away. That night, the married couple gathered their belongings and presented Capitan Tiago with a hefty bill before departing for Manila, assigning the timid Linares the role of avenger.